Welcome back to the AUSPACK Files. We're live from the AUSPACK 2022 exhibition floor. And for this segment, I'm joined by Tessa Eastman, and Tessa's from Markem Imaje. Tessa, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Grant. Great to be here.
Yeah, and you've come a long way to be here from that accent.
This is an Australian accent.
Oh,
I don't know what you're talking about.
There you go. You've got us all fooled.
I know. I'm really good at it, huh?
Okay, Markem Imaje, obviously a global company because I believe you're in from the States.
We are a global company, so a really large company as well. We have over 20,000 customers around the world, 200 partners, 2,500 employees.
Cool.
We cater to food and beverage, pharmaceutical, nutraceutical, apparel, electronics. Yeah, big range of customers.
Cool. So what brings you all the way from, I believe it's Chicago?
Chicago.
Woohoo. So what brings you all the way from Chicago to sunny Melbourne?
Well, I work on the software side of the business. So Markem Imaje, a lot of people know us for our inline coding printers. About 5 years ago, we started investing really heavily in the software side of our business, and that's what I work in. So being a connected product strategist, I looked at different trends in the market, different global legislations that might impact what people are printing on their packaging. And that's the division that we built out. So we do things like product traceability, anti-counterfeiting, serialization, and consumer engagement.
Okay. Wow. So that's the reason that you're exhibiting here. Have you got a stand, and what's on the stand if you've got one?
We have a great stand. Yeah.
Cool.
So we have an example fill line in the stand that walks you through each one of our software solutions.
Yep.
So we do things like message management at the beginning of the packaging line. So allowing the operator or marketing people to design the packaging themselves. We do vision inspection. So verifying that what was printed is correct.
Yeah.
We can uniquely identify each item either through serialization or e-fingerprinting technology.
Ooh.
We can do track and trace when the products leave the production facility. We can do field authentication via smartphone app in the field, and consumer engagement at the end when the product's in the hands of the end consumer.
Wow, that's end to end, definitely. So e-fingerprinting. I got caught by that one. That sounds pretty funky. What's that?
It is pretty funky. It's quite amazing, actually. So we do a lot of work in the pharmaceutical industry, and we actually pioneered the process that is today serialization in pharmaceutical in the US and in Europe. But what a lot of our customers were asking for is more of a anti-counterfeiting solution.
Yeah.
So with serialization, since you're printing something variable on the outside of the packaging, it's variable, so there's some level of protection, but can always be replicated.
Yep.
So we had our cameras on the packaging lines already, doing the serialization, taking pictures. And what we realize is that within the data carrier, so we're talking about like a QR code, UPC code, EAN13, data matrix, things like that. There's a lot of variation at the microscopic level.
Okay.
So that's what we pick up on. So just like everybody has unique fingerprints, every data carrier is unique on the microscopic level as well.
Okay.
So we leverage that to create a unique identity.
That's very cool. So so it's like, the QR code may look the same and may render the same on your phone every time you use it, but those microscopic variations, so it's not printed identically because of variations in the material under it, things like that, the way that the inks may have applied, and that gives you that fingerprint.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
That's very cool.
It's very cool. So the big selling point with that, that a lot of printers get really excited about, is you can essentially serialize without printing anything variable. So you can get the economies of scale when you're looking at printing it upstream. You're not impacting the efficiency of your packaging lines.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you're just using a smart sensor at production or during transport. Point of sale, it's, as you said, a smartphone or the consumer smartphone. Oh, this is real. So do they scan it and then that takes them to a website to tell, or how does a consumer know what to do to verify that this is real?
It's a great question. So I think 4 years ago, pre-COVID, we would have struggled with that because people still didn't really know what QR codes were. But now even my grandma knows how to scan a QR code.
Yes.
So consumers already know to scan the QR code on the packaging. So a lot of times with the consumer use case, that's what we'll use. When they scan the QR code, we have a new technology specific to consumer engagement that can kick in at that point. So that's called our Blue Bite platform.
Okay.
And what you're being redirected to when you scan the QR code is actually a Blue Bite experience. It's not a static web page.
Okay.
So anybody out there today can print a dynamic QR code and redirect to a website, but they need somebody to develop and code that website. And it's also not unique. So consumers may scan that product one time, but they're probably not going to go back because it's not necessarily a very valuable experience for them.
Yep.
So what we do is, one, push experiences directly out of our platform. You're not redirected to a website. And then the experience that's delivered to the customer is based on different context, and it can be varied by the brand. So maybe they want to push certain information at certain times of the day. Maybe it could be based on the location of the phone.
Okay.
Maybe it could be based on the phone itself. So if that phone has scanned other products of the brand, they can offer coupons or rewards to try new products.
Wow. So very tailored.
Very tailored.
Wow.
And that's really what gets people scanning products over and over again. And that's what builds brand loyalty, when you can keep pushing information about your history, about the raw materials that go into your products, about the journey of those products.
Yeah, the provenance and all that.
Yeah, exactly. It creates a connection with your consumers.
Wow. That's pretty impressive stuff. And without actually having to serialize. So you're already doing everything. All you've got to really do is add your gear to what you're already doing.
Exactly. And that's the biggest thing for us doing business with a lot of food and beverage companies. They need to have high levels of operational efficiency. We cannot do anything that slows down their production lines. And with this, we're leveraging what's already there.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, that's a pretty cool piece of technology. And this and all the other software systems that you're helping out with and providing to your company, to your market and so on. Is there anything else you want to say while we're here about what you've got?
No, I think, a lot of I wasn't ready for that question.
You're welcome.
I think we see a lot of printing companies trying to adopt different software solutions and position themselves as more innovative providers to the market. But with our solutions, they're acquired technologies for the most part. So they have a long-standing history of being used across industries where that specific type of technology is really pinnacle to the success of the companies in those industries. So protecting your brand in pharmaceutical is huge. Our e-fingerprinting technology was developed initially for pharmaceutical customers. With the consumer engagement portion, Blue Bite, they've been around for 10 years. They've worked with high-end luxury brands. Some of their original investors were some of the most recognizable consumer brands in the world. So there's a lot of credibility and experience in what we do.
Oh, fantastic. Well, Tessa, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for
really
having
appreciated having a chat. And also thanks very much for making the huge trip down from Chicago. And please do make the most of your time while you're here in the country.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Cool. Okay, folks, that's it for this segment. We'll be back soon with another discussion on the AUSPACK files. But for now, don't forget to stay tuned to this station.